Hey, everybody, welcome back for part two with Riley and Dwayne here. I just want to talk about hunting a little bit because I feel like there's some notable things here. You shot a couple deer this year too, right?
Yeah. Just knocking the dust off some equipment.
Just shot my bow a couple days before the opener and they just hit the ground.
Yeah, I've been kind of stagnant for a few years, been raising kids, so priorities have shifted.
That's great.
They're starting to get interested, so priorities have shifted back to hunting a little bit. So yeah, we were grinding up some deer meat last night.
I'm excited. So like, let's somebody tells a story. Did you shoot two?
Just a couple does.
So you have multiple stories, maybe?
Nah,
No.
nothing cool.
Tell your,
At least just being honest.
tell your doe story. Go ahead.
No. Hey, I witnessed a buck growl stalking my doe. Unfortunately, it rained and I couldn't find her, and I bumped her. So the next morning went and was searching for her. Seen a buck making a scrape, stalked pretty close to him, and he was moving with some authority. He was pushing a doe. Must have been a different doe. He found my doe and was doing that whole buck roar thing.
Give me your best buck roar.
It was echoing in the woods. It was wild, and there's no way I'm letting that get recorded.
Just give me something here.
YouTube it, man. YouTube buck roar. They're out there.
What was it what's it sound like?
I'm not doing it, man. It sounded like a wild hog, screaming in the woods. I mean, I was 100 yards away. I could hear him. I stalked him like a turkey hunting because he was so aggressively loud. And then,
So you were in the woods.
yeah, then he popped up and we were 60 yards and almost got a shot.
He was still roaring.
He wasn't when I seen him. He was down in this little kind of a bowl.
How was he roaring?
Like a buck would. So, come on, Mark and Terry Dury, recorded it years and years or decades ago.
No, seriously, give me some. I have no idea what a buck roar is.
Yeah, well, YouTube it out, right? You're not getting me, bud. But it was cool. I stalked him and made some progress, and he was hurt. His left side was hurt. He'd bedded a few times, found one with some blood in it, and I bumped him twice. I'm like, hey, this legend's gonna live, and EHD beat the area up, so if he's going to live, I want him to live. And I was walking. There you go. That extremely loud. You could hear it 150 yards away.
So what is that?
He was
biologically, what does that mean?
I don't know, but he was goring my doe.
Goring.
He was hitting her and trying to get her to stand up while she was on the ground.
She and he?
You don't know what the mad game calls buck roar. Do you remember that?
No.
I remember being in middle school. I've got one somewhere in a tub still. And
It's
there was a little disc you put
yeah.
put in your PlayStation 2 and watch it. It's Terry Drury.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's exactly
They
what
have
he's
it on
saying.
video.
They're just ramming a dead deer.
So I started walking back. I was because this was the next morning and it rained. So I bumped her. I shot her right at dark. And I'm like, dang, I was kind of upset with myself. Spent about 3 hours tracking and looking and then just blind grid searching. And then I was walking back, started feeling a little defeated through, Michigan swamps and briars and everything else. And then it kind of hit me about that sound because I was looking at the cedar that I stopped at. It's good back cover. And that buck came up. And I was like, man, if I'd have went one more tree forward, I'd had a smoking shot at this guy. And, my confidence was a little low after letting a deer lay all night. That's the first time I ever had to do that. So then
That's the first time you had to do that?
Yeah.
God bless you.
I didn't even think about. I didn't even put
Pretty good resume.
I didn't even put that together until
Dwayne's a killer, everybody.
No, I mean, my biggest buck I pulled out at midnight. I just don't give up until I find it. I guess I don't know. There's a lot of responsibility in taking something's life.
So biologically, we don't do people not know what a buck roar actually
I think it's just a really amped up grunt.
I can't explain it.
But
yeah.
in my mind, if the buck is ramming the doe, with his antlers, you mean
I didn't actually witness it, but so I was almost back, and then I was like, man, if I had moved over here, I'd have seen it. And I'm like, then that video of Mark and Terry Drury 20 years ago, if not more, 25 prior plus, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk over there. I took maybe a dozen steps. There's my doe laying down there. I'm like, no way. Go down there. There's hair all over the place. The leaves are all disturbed.
Do you think the doe was in heat and the buck was trying to say, let's do this?
Yeah, but she wouldn't get up.
I'm sure he was looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was. I wish I would have recorded it.
You should have just sat there.
Well, and part of, I mean, hindsight, for sure. But, in Michigan, when you check your deer in too, it's like, it talks about feral hogs and such. There was a part of me that's like, there's a feral hog over here. That is like ridiculously loud. I didn't know what it was, but it was neat. Every time I would pause, he would make the noise. So then I was like, all right, I'm cool to keep moving. So I just kept advancing on him. And they popped out of that bowl and we were like 60 yards apart. He was a nice deer. I'd definitely loved a rap attack on him, but hopefully he survives.
I'd love to know that there's stuff like that going on out there in the woods.
Yeah, it tripped me out. It's one of those things you don't even like to talk about because it's almost unbelievable.
You know what? I did hear something like that one time, but it wasn't long. It was like a really loud, like,
yeah.
Like,
yes, there you go. I would have made that noise if you'd have got me to do it.
Yeah. See, I did it.
That's what it was.
And it echoed. I mean, it echoed in the woods. It was impressive.
Then I think I've heard a buck roar, I think.
Yeah.
To be continued.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get him. Part 3, Dwayne gets the growler.
So, Riley, you got a couple good deer stories to tell us, I think. A couple of nice Wisconsin deer.
Oh yeah.
I've had a good year. It's been a really good year. I got one with my bow week or two into November, and then I'd known of that deer. It's the first time I've ever seen him, and then I shot one last week. That was pretty special. And
what day was the first one on in November?
I think it was the 12th. So it was the 5th or 6th time I'd sat in that place. I hadn't seen a deer for him either. And he came out at 3 p.m. I was sitting all day. Hadn't seen a deer. It's like 50 degrees, but the wind's right. And it's November 12th or whenever it was. And, you kind of heard that twig snap.
Hold on. Back up a little bit. Back up. Like, is this a permission piece? Is that your style?
It is, yeah.
That's how you do this?
Yeah, so I guess I'll give you a little background. So I grew up, I was very fortunate. My parents own their own business and, were hard workers, and I was just around them, and my dad hunted, and he would take us hunting, and, we were just very fortunate. Looking back on it, it was a awesome childhood, and, there's like little videos of me out there like rattling a buck at the horse barn, I was just obsessed to watch videos. Like I said, the buck roar video, I probably watched that 30 times when I was like 11 years old,
I still have it.
And, so anyway, we would bow. My dad learned to bow hunt, and then we grew up shooting bows, and you got to shoot 45 pounds before you can go bow hunt. So then he started bow hunting, and he'd go out there and clothes didn't fit and you get cold, and, kind of earned it and bow hunted for a few years. And I think I shot my first deer with a bow when I was maybe 11 or 12. And, I'll never forget that. I skipped middle school basketball practice. It was Veterans Day.
Nice.
And he had went out there.
The 11th.
The 11th, yeah.
And
my dad had went out there the day before, and he's like, "They're rutting, man. There's hot dough out here. You got to skip practice tomorrow." And I was kind of a square, and I'm like, "I can't skip practice. I'm not going to skip practice." And he's like, "You have to skip practice." So I skipped practice, didn't sleep, and get out there, and sure enough, I shot a buck, and it was awesome. And so anyway, that was a family friend, and as things progress, you lose a place, you get a place. And it was somewhere around getting your driver's license where I realized, hey, I could probably go ask this guy. And it's really nerve-wracking. And you go ask him, and you get told no. And then you get a yes. And you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then you do it over and over. So I've learned to do that a lot over life. I'm not going to, we have, in the meantime, when I was in high school, my parents bought 40 acres. That's been incredible. Learned so much on, doing projects out there, food plots, timber, all that stuff. We've since kind of grown the portfolio of like family land and stuff since, but I still do a lot of my hunting on, permission ground. It's just the way it allows you to kind of divert some of the pressure off of your properties, and it's just different. I kind of like the chase and going out and getting a little sliver, and that excites me, So both the deer I shot this year.
I just want to say, I agree with you. Like, in the last 2 years, I've been like knocking on doors and asking people like, "Hey, can I buy your property?"
It's the same.
It's similar.
Yeah.
It's like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to? You want to do it? But it is exciting when you get any amount of traction with that.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's and it gives you it's like, okay, this can be done. So then it's just a matter of reps at that point. And you take care of those people. I mean, you really, it's like we were talking about taking things for granted earlier. I don't take any of that for granted, and take care of every winter, Christmas, you stop by, you meet them, it's more than just access. So yeah, both deer I got this year were doing that. And, the one I shot with my bow, that was pretty neat. I'll tell you the quick Cliff Notes story there. So he came, like I said, I wasn't seeing much. But it was right to calendar day, kind of warm.
Well, hold on.
Huh. You should keep stopping.
I'm not ready yet. So like, is this like the second, third, fourth, fifth year you've hunted this place?
Probably fourth or so.
And nothing really to speak of?
Frankly, it's not that good of a spot. There's just the habitat. There's just not much. There's just, very grateful for it. I've hunted it. There's deer that come and go, but it's not like a place deer live. It's just
it's kind of a cruising spot.
It's a mentally taxing place to hunt because you don't see anything. So anyway, I was doing that, and this deer came out, and I keep talking about that twig snap because the real ones will know. Like, you hear that twig snap, and you're like, oh, And I heard that twig snap, and I like heard him kind of push through the honeysuckle a little bit. You hear that, I'm like, it's got to be a good one. I'm only going to see one out here. And he came out and did his thing, and he snort wheezed, which was pretty bizarre because there were no other deer around to my knowledge. And he snort wheezed, and he's at 30 yards, but he's facing me, and he was kind of scraping where there wasn't a scrape, but he was just feeling himself. And he snort wheezed, and wow, that was kind of cool. And he starts coming towards me, and he got to like 5 yards. He had no idea I was there, and he was facing my direction the whole time.
Wait. So he was just rutting?
I'll tell you the story. I'm building it up here.
There was no other deer.
At this point, you're ruining the story. Just let me. So he comes, and I draw when he looks away, and I shot him at like 5 yards. He had no idea I was there, and I shot him, and he let out kind of a roar, and he bolts about 10 yards, stops, looks around, folds his ears back, and lets out another snort wheeze. I think he thought something little got the jump on him. It was that time of year. Wow, and it's a cluster. I'm reaching for another arrow. Can't believe that happened. And then he realized he was stinging a little bit and, took off and did the thing. But as soon as I kind of lost sight of him into the cover, I turned around, and a really nice, 2 or 3 year old came busting out of that honeysuckle. So that that's why he snort wheezed, but I was leading up to that. At the time, I was thinking what you were just thinking, weird. Like, what the heck? And I kind of got the impression they weren't cruising, they weren't chasing a doe. I got the impression it was warm. They probably both fell asleep at like opposite ends of the thicket or something, and then just like ran into each other while they were stretching, and then got up, and and I just happened to be there at the right time. But
how does snort wheeze sound?
I'd give you a snort wheeze. I'm sorry.
So,
what was the tonality of it?
But like, I've never heard somebody say it that way. You think that they like went to bed and then like happened to bump?
That's the impression I got. Yeah, it's kind of hard to make sense if you don't. But at the time, it was just hot. I just had that feeling of a day, and they probably just laid. I'd been there since before sunrise and hadn't seen any deer. They weren't chasing a doe. They weren't chasing each other. They weren't cruising. I think they just kind of posted up until things cooled off later in the evening, and who knows? Maybe I wouldn't even seen the one I shot if the little one wasn't there to get him out of bed. But I definitely put my time in. I sat there and didn't see anything for a while, and that worked out. So that was awesome. And I was there were some other ones in different areas, and getting pictures of a deer at midnight is pretty easy. But getting to a place where you can get them is the difficult part,
right? Especially
when you're not getting the prime pieces because you're asking people and stuff. And that's kind of how the second one was, and he had disappeared. I'd had pictures in the summer. I actually saw him in person for the first time before camera. I saw him in the summer. I was 10 yards eye to eye with him, which was pretty cool. And then got some summer photos, got some October photos. As some of you know, I guess in the Midwest, we didn't, most of October was east winds, it felt like. And prior to the season, I was kind of, chomping at the bit because I had west, I had east access. It was a west wind spot. I thought, this is awesome. I'm going to be in there every day I can. and I only hunted it a handful of times, and then he left, and I didn't have pictures of him anyway for 4 or 5 weeks. He was gone all November, and then moved some cameras around and did some looking around, and he eventually came back. I kind of had a hunch. There's some dirty cornfields, and just both of these deer were wild. Like
What's
no food
a
plots,
dirty
no.
cornfield?
Like sometimes you'll get on like a clay top of a cornfield. The corn grows kind of short, and the combine head will kind of just like.
That's a farmer term, isn't it?
I don't know. I kind of just came up with it now. It makes sense. It's just they just kind of there's a little bit of corn mist.
I like that. I'm going to use that, a dirty cornfield.
And it's not, it's still in the cob in the husk, but sometimes they'll raise their heads up just to get above the topography to make the turn. I thought that's interesting, and for just in the countryside, that goes a long way. It's not like these deer are eating food plots or nothing. And, we got hit with a bunch of winter weather, and some does were in there, and then he kind of showed back up, and I went out there and shot him. And it worked out. I went out there thinking it's cold. I mean, it was like 13, 14 degrees, and I had a long walk through some deep snow and got sweaty and was running out of time, and it was a disaster. I was, how that goes. We've all been there where you're getting sweaty. And, you're like, and you go there hoping to see him, but you kind of don't expect to down deep, but you got to have a positive attitude. And you step out and you go, oh my gosh, it's him, and couple things happened, and he just came right in and gave me a chip shot. And
how far was the shot?
Pretty calm, 40 yards, maybe a little under.
And what were you shooting?
So the first one was a bow. The second one was a slug gun.
A slug gun.
Yeah. So it was 12 gauge Savage 212. So
short barrel.
I don't know. Stock. I'm not much of a gun guy. I don't know. However, Cabela's sold them 10 years ago. Yeah.
So you had a slug.
Yeah, it's a rifled bolt action. It's not. I'm not chucking them out of a Mossberg pump. I mean, it was
barrel here.
That's what I wanted to know.
And stuff. Yeah,
I picture you with a Mossberg.
No. It was so. Transparently, we predominantly bow hunt. It's not out of a righteous stance. We just bow. Like I just grew up doing it, and I enjoy it. And we bow hunt.
How many deer have you killed with a gun?
This was only the second. Yeah, this is only the second deer I've ever killed with a gun.
It was at 40 yards.
Yeah, and he was at 40 yards.
You killed it with your bow.
And I'll be honest with him, when he came out at 100, I'm like, I'm not going to take that shot. Most gun guys would like laugh at me if I tell the story. I'm like, I'm not going to take that shot. 100 yards when you're not used to looking at a deer, that's so far. So he came into 40, and I thought I better not be greedy. So I took the shot.
Man.
But the way he was coming in, he would have worked into 10 yards probably. I mean, he had no idea. It was awesome. It was what you dream of. An old buck, black, dark forehead, just gnarly rack going on. I mean, it's like scary to see him eye to eye on the ground.
How big was that rack?
He was an 8-point, and then he had some other stuff going on. So he was a nice deer. Both were. The first one was, we're just grossed him on the kitchen table. But the first one was like in the mid 160s, and the second one was in like the low to mid 70s.
So like a good one.
170s.
Yeah. But they were, that's how it happened. And it was cool. It was very awesome. Both deer I got to recover with my brother and dad. We don't have
that's special stuff too.
Yeah. We're all ate up with it. My mother's a saint too. I mean, she doesn't hunt, has no interest in it, but she cooks it. She'll help us butcher them. She's like, you better get out there. The wind's right. I mean, she's, number one fan. And yeah, it was an awesome season. So that's how it all worked out.
His mom, I think, found the first sheds. Remember that? Early last year when there was still, I think, snow.
Oh yeah, she loves shed hunting. She'll go turkey hunt, but doesn't want to pull the trigger. She just likes hearing the turkey. Yeah. So she's always like, are there turkeys
Riley sent me pictures of his mom, or showed me a photo of his mom holding an antler in front of his trail camera.
Yeah. I was on the road, and I looked down, to cell camera, and it's my mom, and she had like a match set, and she's in front of the camera. I'm like, oh, you guys aren't supposed to be out there. She's like, we weren't. We were just checking on the buck, and they were just laying there. So it was
hard not to.
Yeah. So we've got a pretty special family dynamic. We're all really close, and have been fortunate to stay healthy and share a lot of memories together. So. That's how my season went. So it's kind of downhill from here.
So wait, one thing, you said you saw that deer the first time you ever went in there, 10 yards.
Yeah, I kind of just went in there. You know, it's one of those things you hang a camera on the same tree every year, and you kind of got it figured out. And
You were doing
not
that.
figured out, but yeah, I was heading in there, and had my machete and my 1 gallon hand sprayer. Like, those are my number one tools in the summer. And I went in there, and it's hot and everything, and I did my thing, and it probably took me 20 minutes to get the camera right. You trim and all that stuff. You don't want grass growing. And sometimes in the summer they're a little bit more comfortable, and you guys have probably seen this too, but they almost get curious. So I probably raised a little bit of a ruckus. And anyway, I get done, I turn around, take a few steps and look up, and at 10 yards, he's just looking at me, and he was in velvet, and I went, whoa. And, yeah, that was a pretty cool first encounter. So
So he wasn't real spooked then.
no,
If you're in there like,
he got out of there. I think he just didn't know what I was. And so after the fact, that one's kind of interesting. After getting him, it came to my attention that like people knew about the deer. There were multiple people. I mean, when I caped him out, I found a crossbow bolt and a fixed head in him.
that's insane.
From years past. He had been healed over, calcified. It wasn't from this year. One guy thought he hit him high shoulder. Somebody else missed him. There's pictures this way, that way. And I had never seen the deer in my life before this year. And I speculate that he kind of got to that age where he was just like a grumpy old man and wanted to be left alone. And he like wasn't bachelored, wasn't with does, wasn't with little bucks. He was all by himself. And I think he, for whatever reason, felt safe there. And I tried my best to tread lightly, which and yeah, I don't know.
Was that like a smaller tract or like a bigger tract?
It was a big property. A lot of like fragmented cover and stuff, but not. It wasn't a prime block of woods or anything. It was kind of a farmy area, so there's very few big blocks. So yeah, it's not. It's just like honeysuckle and broken field tiles and
Yeah.
stuff. And I'll tell you, I was sitting hunting for him, and I could see multiple pop-up blinds and surrounded. So like people were, this wasn't like butting up the forest preserve. This deer was just a warrior, and I was just lucky to be in the right spot at the right time.
And what was your setup? What were you sitting on?
I was just in a little foxhole in a snowdrift sitting on the ground. Just it's where I had to be, with the wind and stuff, and I was running out of time, and it was cool.
It was a snowdrift?
Yeah, there was just
Because it was snowing pretty good in that photo.
We had quite a bit of snow and then got more, and it was windy, and it just catches in hedgerows and ditch lines and stuff, and it was a kind of a halfway snowdrift and some canary grass and whatever. And
So again, this is totally random, but you said you have a machete and a spray tank in the summer.
This is I'll probably have friends that roll their eyes if they listen to this, but it's like that's like the number one two tools for the regular guy that doesn't own property and is just like permission hunting. Even if you do own property, my machete and a 1 gallon little hand sprayer for $10 with a little cocktail in there is like, you can make such an impact with that.
Give me more. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Cocktail. Well, I like cocktails. What do you mean?
Weed killer, essentially.
Yeah.
But just access into stands and stuff. I mean, if you'll hang a stand, but there's, you might have to go into the cover 25 yards and you got to brush your pants on the grass and the twigs, and you try to clear it in, and you think, oh, it doesn't matter, but it matters. If you're going after like nice, smart deer, it matters. And I'll go in there in the summer, I'll hang my cameras, and on the way out, like I'll, have my wand behind me as I'm walking. And so when I get there in late October, whenever, I've got a path as wide as this rug that's just bare dirt going in, and I can just get in, get out. Same with cameras, and you can, another trick too.
It's a hot tip. That's a hot tip.
Another trick is you can go in and, you can you still have to have a scrape in a reasonable spot where deer go. But if you go into, if there's like a honeysuckle bush or autumn olive or something, and it's on the edge of a cow pasture and it's just brome and thick and everything like that, if you just in July spray a truck hood area under that branch, they're going to scrape there that fall. Like, you don't even have to go work it or put scent on it. They're just going to scrape there. If you open it up for them. Some guys will go in they'll have their weed whacker and stuff like that. That works exceptionally well too, but I'm kind of a one-man band, so I can carry my hand sprayer.
But you're in there like clearing out like the bigger stuff and then just spraying.
Yeah, so I'll kind of, some of these places I've been to for a long time, I'll already have like the big branches out of the way, so I'll just hand spray, kind of some maintenance. But the machete is just easy to carry and light. And again, I'm like walking, but I'm just by myself, so I got to be able to pack it in. So a weed whacker and all that stuff's cool, but it's just not practical.
I've never owned a machete, but I think I'm gonna now.
I'll get you one for Christmas. I got the perfect one.
I would really love that.
Yeah.
I used to have
Got one with the saw on the backside.
Yeah. I used to have. I found one in an old dairy barn one time, a family friend's grandpa's farm, and he made it out of an old mower blade.
Oh man, that's cool.
That was the deal, and I lost it a few summers ago. And my dad, shout out Roger, he got me for Christmas like an extendo Gerber one.
I thought you were gonna say he got you some blades for a.
No. He got me a big machete
like
that's like another 8 inches longer, and that's an extra 8 inches of cut with one swipe. So
Wow.
I got the thing under the back seat right now.
Yeah,
We get out of
I
here.
do too.
Is that like
But-
against the law for the legal length of a blade in the state of Michigan?
At some point, I'm gonna have to start. Yeah, I'm gonna need some paperwork here.
I'm just kidding.
Just throw it in the bed of the truck. Then then you're a contractor.
That's
right?
right.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that's my hot tip is I think for a budget guy or you can't manipulate the landscape much, hand sprayer with Glide 2,4-D and a machete, and you can knock out a lot. You can make a big difference. As far as like your micro plot is fun to make with your 4-wheeler and your rake and stuff, but you'll have more of an impact on your hunting success, in my opinion. We're all just guessing and opinions here, but is cleaning out your access, doing stuff like that.
Well, opinions. We're looking at the product of your opinion.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't know. It's something I've learned over the years.
So we haven't known each other that long. Do you always kill a really big deer?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I try really hard, but it's some years are better than others. You know how it goes. There's peaks and valleys.
This is a peak, I think.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's all downhill from here. So I've always wanted a pedestal, and I was like, it's got to be a special. You can't just get a pedestal. Then it makes pedestal lame. So I thought this is worthy of a pedestal. So I told my fiance I'm getting a pedestal, and she kind of gave me an eye roll, but I'm getting a pedestal. So
tell me about your fiance. Is she a hunter?
She's not. No, she's not really from it or anything. She's from a very outdoorsy family. She's awesome, very supportive. She's go do it. I mean, it's never a.
She knows what she's getting into.
She knows what she's getting into. Yeah, she's lived through several ruts now, so she knows what it means to be a rut widow. So that's another thing. It's
Haven't we all?
Yeah. It's worth mentioning on the like I don't have any kids and I'm not married yet, so I have the bandwidth to go play around with a machete. You start getting kids and you got to pick your days a little bit more. So
no, when you're dad, you still have machete.
Yeah, you still get a machete.
You just.
But yeah, she's a saint as well. So she's super supportive and everything like that. So
But you're getting married soon.
getting married in May. So that's exciting. We're both really excited about it. Figuring that out as we go too, wedding planning, all that stuff is a little overwhelming. So I've been fortunate. She's taken the reins with that. And I've chimed in for the cake tasting and stuff.
Do you
like
think
that.
I'll make the invite list?
If you want to, yeah.
I'd really like to come.
Yeah, we're selling sponsorship squares on the program, so maybe paint an arrow.
Oh man, I'm not giving you a dime.
But yeah. So that's kind of my background and situation. We try really hard at it and just enjoy it a lot. So my brother had some success recently.
Yeah.
My dad got a nice buck.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like good ones?
Yeah. Ryan's is at least 7, and I mean he can't get your fingers around his base. I mean he's a old heavy deer. We haven't taped him or anything, but he's a bruiser. Like he's what you live for, a heavy
the
old
scale.
buck.
It's what you live for.
Yeah.
Can I see a picture of this one?
Yeah.
Broke the scale, right?
Yeah, but
So is that your brother? You said Roger?
my dad is Roger. My older brother Ryan, he's 5 years older. Ryan's got a very cool story too. He'd make a good podcast. But Ryan's a mossy oak. He bleeds mossy oak. So Ryan went through a lot when he was younger, got sick, stuff like that, and he was one of the first catch a dream kids. And when they did it, they went on a turkey hunt, a catch a dream turkey hunt to Texas, and Ryan shot a Rio, and Mossy Oak, did the whole thing, and it was pretty neat. So
That's really cool.
Who was his guide?
So Cuz Strickland was, we got to know Cuz when we were younger, and everything like that. So this chapter of Mossy Oak kind of came organically, but it's been a really, really neat full circle.
That's amazing.
story it. But yeah, Ryan could tell the story a lot better than I could. But
So
yeah.
what day did he kill?
He killed Sunday evening at about 4:00, and I was sitting with him
Like a couple days ago.
a couple days ago. Yeah, I was sitting with him. It was awesome. That was a deer we hadn't seen.
Yeah, give me the quick one of that too, if you were there.
Yeah, I'll just tell you. So we kind of made the game plan. We'd never seen this deer in person in several years, and he lived somewhere else. Nighttime photos, the deal. And he got to the point where it's like he had chocolate antlers, so we called him Big Chocolate.
Big Choc.
We're like, we just got to wear him down, man. We got the cold weather, and that's what I just kept telling him. We got the wind, so I shot my deer, and Ryan hunted that night with my dad, and several miles away, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll get you a little bit better picture.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah, you did send me that.
I might have. Yeah, there's a kind of a color one, but yeah, so he was.
That's a monster.
It's a tough one to show. The mass doesn't show super well.
It's a 170-inch deer.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Welch Christmas is this weekend, so there's
You guys
it's
are all
gonna
going to show up with tapes.
Yeah.
And big deer.
That's a 170-some-inch deer.
There's the family selfie, but you can kind of see the mass a little bit better there. So
That's a big one.
yeah, we were jacked up, but yeah, so we just sat there and saw.
That's your old man?
It is, yep. That's the three of us. So
God, y'all kill big deer. What about your old man? I mean, he said he got one too?
yeah, he's gotten some nice ones over the years too.
So he's the guy who got you into it.
Yeah, definitely. So he grew up. My grandpa was a big fisherman. He lived in the UP, and we were really close with him. And I never really got to know my grandma. I was a little bit too young, but he was a big fisherman. They hunted and stuff growing up. My dad pheasant hunted, and they just didn't deer hunt. They just pheasants, quail, stuff like that. And then him and my mom starting out, didn't have the time, raising kids, working hard, that whole thing. And then when I was younger, he got back into it a little bit. And picked up bow hunting, and then like I've already said, we were really fortunate. He would take us doing waterfowl hunting, deer hunting, just make it happen. So we'd go out there and freeze, and I think that makes for I don't have kids yet, so it's easy to say, but I'm like, if you just we earned it. Like, we didn't really get much at first, and then we start to get it, and it makes you really love it. So
it's special having.
Yeah.
People tell you this, but you don't know it until you're there. But when you and your wife, your future wife, get pregnant, like, everybody will start telling you,
Yeah.
"Oh, kids are gonna change your life. You don't even know. It's just your whole world's gonna change." And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here you are, and it's like, it's facts, man.
Yeah.
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 It's the coolest thing, having a little son.
Mm-hmm.
And like, my kid right now, like, we watch YouTube deer hunting, bear hunting videos. I love bears.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll watch a lot of bear hunting videos. And literally, my wife FaceTimes me yesterday. She's like, "Look what your son's doing." And Devin actually got him his first, like, little play bow where like the suction cups on the window, right?
Yeah.
And he's running around, like, creeping and, like, shooting the bow the wrong way, but like, "I'm hunting, Daddy." He's like, he's just like ate up with it.
Yeah.
I'm such a proud dad when he's running around with his bow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
He says, "I'm deer hunting, Daddy." And like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait to make more memories like that, son.
Yeah.
But it is special, man.
Yeah. And I was just lucky to have the best parents in the world. We all think but I had all the opportunities, and they went out of their way to take us hunting and expose us to stuff, and then as times went on, we get more involved. First it was just sitting. Now we're planting food plots and planting trees and doing this and that, and we're all in on, like, the property and habitat stuff now, and it's just awesome. I get more jazzed up for that almost
I
than
do too,
hunting
yeah.
them. I just, and then you start to do it so long, and the stuff you planted 3 years ago is starting to look like a tree, or the grasses are filling in, and you're just like, wow,
Yeah.
So it's
Your
I love it.
passion
Yeah.
is the product of quality parenting.
Yeah.
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 What you're talking about, your young son,
Yeah.
your parents instilled that in Riley.
It's the
is
hardest
what I'm
thing.
seeing.
Yeah, 100%. But it's what I'm learning currently. That, like, the thankfulness that you have.
Yeah.
it shines even brighter because like you realize how difficult it is to like just put a pair of boots on your kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just the shoes alone,
Yeah.
you're like wrestling with them, let alone the gloves and the, you know, you making sure that they're not going to want to leave the seconds you get out there. Like it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you appreciate the way you were raised. And I can say the same thing. Like my dad and my grandpa, I mean, they got me into it.
Yeah.
I have all these fond memories of being a young kid and not having a lot of success, but you just get that itch and you go out and you figure it out. And now
Yeah.
here we are.
And it's been fun to kind of figure it out together. You know, I remember all the time we reminisce on like how, you know, how bad we were 10 years ago and what we didn't know. Like we would just go out there and sit and, you know, we'd have this blow every time, or this doe, every time we go out there, she'd blow at us 200 yards away. And we're like, she just must be smart. We weren't playing the wind. We weren't doing this or that. It was just so silly. And then we've kind of learned as we've progressed, and that's been really fun too, you know. And then you start seeing some success, and everybody is, and it's almost as fun just looking back on some of the silly things you used to do and figure out. And you know, you used to just watch a VHS video or read a magazine article. Like I remember as a kid, you know, that'd be the extent of the content you could consume. And you're just seeing the highlight reels on, you know, hunting videos and whatnot. Now you can go on YouTube and look up any little thing you want to find out in super duper detail. But
It's so true.
it's come a long way. Yeah.
We take it so for granted, but it's so true.
Yeah, I sound like an old guy, but I'm 29, but just in my lifetime since I've paid attention, things have changed so much, you know. We'd go to like little trade show seminar things and all that. Now you just YouTube it, you know.
Listen to podcasts.
Yeah, listen to podcasts.
Listen to people like us ramble.
That's right. Yeah.
Act like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So.
But I think this year was just a wild year for a lot of reasons. Like you said too, with the weather, like it was pretty warm. And then all of a sudden it just like cut to the next scene, and it's not even Christmas yet. It's been the weirdest year.
Yeah. We were talking about it earlier off camera, but you know, and there'll be people in the UP that kind of scoff at it and everything, but you know, these deer were rutting hard, and then the next morning it was late January. You know, like it was 50, like I said, on the 12th or 13th or whenever it was 55 degrees, and I was just sitting there in a long sleeve, and then I shot him 2 weeks later, and it was 7, you know, and there's no relief. It's 7 degrees with a foot of snow, and the snow's not melting in the 10-day.
Yeah.
And,
It's,
you know,
it's winter. It's here.
Yeah. We're rolling right into it. And, you know, just, there's like different, you know, you just a hunter, and then we've gotten into the habitat stuff, and I just get excited. I feel bad when I see a deer get hit by a car, you know, so now I almost feel bad for them. They got to, you know, digging through the snow, and there's no food
legit.
left. And we'll see how it carries into next year. You know, there's a lot of different theories on growth and stuff like that. But it's definitely hard on the bucks coming out of the rut and going into that with no body fat or anything, you know. So it's that's interesting too, just watching the annual cycles. And I could yap on that for a long time too. But yeah, it's just fun stuff. So
There's a lot of people that I've never been like a late season guy
yeah,
because I just don't. Maybe this is an excuse, but I just have never had the property for it. Like if you have a good food source late season, it's hard. Like you can almost call it your shot.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like if you have the right setup and you have food, and like you said, if it gets cold and these deer need to eat, they have to.
mm-hmm.
And you have the only green or any standing corn or beans or whatever, it can be lights out late season.
Yeah, late season's tricky. You know, you see the guys on TV getting to the redneck and the standing beans and stuff, and that's a ton of fun to see a lot of deer. But it's tricky. I mean, access is extremely difficult. The
That's
woods
true.
are wide open. The ground's loud if there's some, you know, frosty snow. It's got its own set of challenges, for sure. You know, and late season's good even for everybody out kind of in the real world too, without 5 acres of beans. You know, it's kind of feast or famine. If you got a woods where they're wintered up, you can get into some good hunting. But you know, it's cold. Your hands are cold. Access is tough. It's got its own challenges, I guess, but yeah, it offers a lot of opportunity. I've had success late season over the years, but you kind of gotta be on the pulse a little bit, like I said, you know, because there'll be one woods that's got a bunch of deer, and across the street's nothing. So
That's how it is. Yeah.
it takes a little bit of homework, but it can be done for sure.
Yeah.
So
I think I want to set up the property that we just bought kind of for like, not specifically for late season, but I want to set it up with that in mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it can be the difference in bigger agricultural areas where there's like, if you have some standing corn and some standing beans, that can be big.
Yeah. Yeah. And the quick comment people, well, there's corn beans everywhere, but it's chisel plowed by Halloween.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah. So they're just kind of, it's not.
Standing. I'm talking about standing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not there when it matters is the way to put it, So, yeah, if you can have that food and just hunt it smart, it's amazing. You go out there and just watch deer with your son, and it's just a fun place to just go. I just like watching deer,
Yeah,
It's fun
exactly.
to see them and everything. So I'd love to go out and see your place and just see how it.
You wanna go right now?
Sets up and stuff. Yeah, I don't know how far it is, but I'd love to.
It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah, might have to.
We should.
You show me your property, I'll show you my machete.
Deal. Let's see.
Can we get a verbal breakdown of what that deer looks like?
He's an 8-pointer, and he's got some abnormal points.
That would be considered
yeah.
what would you call those?
Just
Very abnormal.
abnormal points. Yeah.
That go.
Yeah, deer of a lifetime, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a sweet buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually had Trav's cousin shot a sweet buck last year. It looks similar to that one.
Really?
Beautiful buck.
Wow.
Michigan deer.
Wow.
Buck of a lifetime thing. He said that it's funny. He said the same thing that you did, where it's like, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
And so he did this year. He killed a nice 10,
Yeah.
but he did say, he's like, I am so much more selective.
Yeah.
He's like, all of a sudden it's like, he said, my wife won't let me hang anything else on the walls. He's like, so this year I'm just going to be super selective.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, even without some of the stuff, like he's still a nice deer. It's just fun to see old deer,
It's true.
You take that for granted too. There's some people that just are in areas and whatever, family property and northern Michigan, you name it, but I think once you see one or two of those just dark-headed bucks that just smell, that you're just
Can I tell you what I think?
Huh.
I think within our lifetime,
Yeah.
probably towards the end of our lifetime, there's going to be a swing in who is on the board of the Michigan, the NRC?
Yeah.
Natural Resource Committee, which are all elected positions by the governor.
Mm-hmm.
I think within our lifetime, as you get more 35-year-olds into those positions, I think there's going to be a swing in the regulations in the state of Michigan. I'm talking about Michigan. Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to see a huge shift in trend for this state because we have the habitat.
Yeah.
We have it.
Yes.
We have the hunters, which is what you need to have a success. Like people kind of hate on the number of hunters, right? You hear that all the time. But I think about it in the reverse psychology. Like you want to have a strong team. Like we have this strong team. Mm-hmm. I think that's good. But I think a lot of it has to do with regulation. And I think this is very controversial. This is my subjective opinion. But I think as we get older, I think in general, the trend is going to kind of shift towards the mindset. Because I have the conversation with a lot of guys, similar to y'all. Like, we all kind of want the same thing, and I think it's going to slowly but surely trend that way. But you can't grow, this is what made me think of it when you said it's cool to watch old deer. Mm-hmm. We don't get to watch a lot of old deer in this state. And I just think as time goes on, you're going to see a huge shift.
Yeah.
But it's going to be slow because, it's super easy. The 15th of November is our gun opener. It's open a long time.
Yeah. And why is it the 15th? Just because it is.
That's exactly right.
It's like, there's
it's because of the people on the board. That's what I'm saying. I've been to those meetings. It's like, it's like exactly what you just said. Mm-hmm. That's what it's always been.
Like Riley said, he's 29 and he sees a shift in the education, knowledge, and training that's out there. From DVDs to YouTube to magazines to hardcover books, teaching you how to field dress a deer.
This is something you hear in a lot of places, but the deer haven't gained an advantage. We've got, our weapons are awesome. We've got affordable, reliable trail cameras, you name it. In some of these states you can bait, And there's a big cultural shift, I think, with that. It's like a generational, what you're saying, the guys our father's age and up, they just grew up in a different culture. I think more guys our age are understand that with a little bit more balanced age structure, the experience improves, drastically.
And the economy.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Michigan was like a big buck state, it's great for everybody.
Even, it's good
Land
for business
prices.
for us. Yeah. Land prices,
that's my
tags,
point.
revenue,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. People
It's
stay
going to
home.
soar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's good for the economy. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And even, some of these over-the-counter non-resident states would probably improve as well from where they're already at. How many Michigan guys go to Ohio and, downstate in Illinois and wherever, it's, you relieve some of that pressure, and
that's always been my it's always been like my stance and outlook on life, whether it's business or personal, but like anything that's bad has the most room to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only one way to go.
Only up from there.
Like I look for things that are like down there because they have the potential to be up here. Not to say like I chose to live in Michigan, that I just live here, but like I think Michigan has a lot to improve upon, and I think it will. I just think it'll take time.
It has the things you can't change, the countryside, the habitat, stuff like that. It has the climate. It's got the segmented fields, but it's just rule changes,
I agree.
And it's possible you see some of these pockets pump out serious deer on an annual
100%.
basis. Serious
They're here.
Deer.
They're definitely here.
Yeah, yeah, and there's good genetic deer getting killed at 2 all the time. You're killing 2-year-old 135-inch deer. It's like that would have been a bruiser, And if it's a slippery slope. People get pretty tribal about it, but if it's your biggest deer, your kid or whatever, I'm jacked. But if you've got a Tupperware tub in the garage full of those and skull capped, it's like, I don't know. Shoot a doe.
Like some of these.
That's kind of my opinion.
This is basically all 2 and 3-year-olds right here.
Are these all yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all 2-year-old, 2 and 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
There's a couple.
Pretty deer.
They are.
Yeah, they're all pretty deer.
19-year-old Nate's hard to pass that one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But you see a swooping beam. All that. It's like if that
that could be a big one.
Yeah, and I don't blame you at all for shooting him. That's awesome. But yeah, it's just to say the genetics and the landscape are here. It's just a rule thing,
That's a November 9th deer right there.
If he came in growling, I'd probably let it rip.
I love the growl.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. So this is anything you guys want to say to end this guy? Anything you want to recap?
Thanks for having us on. We're very appreciative. We're really excited
Yeah.
for the future and getting to know you and being able to call you a friend now and having us at the shop and everything and meeting Trav and everybody.
What do you think of the
else.
shop, guys?
It is impressive.
Yeah.
You got it going on here at Painted Arrow. So there's
Yeah.
Christmas music, employees, the things are happening.
Yeah, you get to eat off the floor clean.
It is.
It's nice.
Yeah, this is the real deal. So
We appreciate that.
yeah, it seriously is. Big sign out in front. It's pretty cool. So
We try. We really have.
yeah.
Since we've moved in, it was stressful. Trav can vouch for that. Whenever you, like, obviously we do the bulk of our business in the fall, and we moved like in the middle of our, like, when we're shipping product.
Yeah.
So it was very calculated, very stressful, lots of moving pieces, and we just now, like, the dust kind of just now settled, it felt like. And it was cool to have you guys in because, like, we had some things that were, like, not quite done. So it was like, well, let's get it all done before they get here. It's like a deadline, so that all felt good. The new decal wall, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm loving
It's
it.
very sick.
Nothing motivates you more than having company over.
Yeah. Yep. And a great company at
It's
that.
true.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place, man. And
It's-
7 months is
it's almost
impressive.
perfect. We're missing the other half of Painted Arrow. So
Yeah.
I know it.
when he gets out of bed next time, we'll have to
I know.
get him over here if we could get him out of bed. So if we could get a Devin Cole cameo appearance, would be a
I hope he watches this. He'll be like,
yeah. So,
no, but it's awesome. I feel like we know you guys from a different life.
Likewise.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna go to this summit here coming up
Yeah.
and just get better. That's what it's about. Always getting better.
Yep.
Everybody watching, thank you. Mossy Oak Properties, Michigan Outdoors. That's this crew right here you're looking at. We appreciate you listening to this. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you on the next one. See ya.